I think I'm live. I am live. I'm live. I'm live. Okay. Where did my picture go? Where is this? Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, so I'm live. I'm live. I'm live. I had to get on my phone and leave my computer. I'm going to put my email address in the chat. Welcome to the chat. Okay. Or welcome to the live stream. This email address, and I'm gonna wait till someone gets in here. So it is live. Okay, I'm live. I had to get off my computer and use my phone, so I'm doing vertical lives. So I'm on my phone. So let's see. Hey Lisa, shalom. Oh, great, great, great. I had to get off my computer and get on my phone to do the vertical live on my phone. So my devices, Lisa, I think I've said it before, people don't believe, my devices are controlled. I can't control what happens with them. I have to do lives at certain times. My computer start acting up. I got to keep turning that off. My phone start acting up. I got to keep turning that off. Everything, but I still get this message out there, and I still am going to do a live once a week for my family, for my friends, for my foes, for everybody that watches. So thank you for taking the time to watch the channel, to view my content, to jump on this live stream. Yeah, I just wanted to do this live stream because I was out of town, but I'm back. And yes, so much going on in the world, family, but I'm here. I can answer any questions that you may have about Tanzania. I have been here 5 years this month. July is when I came. July in 2020, I came, and now I've been here this month, this year, for 5 years. So living here in Tanzania, I have a company, business. It's a consultation business company. And I've been living here, working on a land and building project. I haven't secured anything solid yet. I thought I had some prospects of land, but they keep falling through because when I do my double check and my triple check, some stuff don't be adding up. So I'm like, nah, I can't do that. So I'm working on that right now. But Lisa, thank you so much for taking the time to jump in the stream, for letting me know that I sound much better. The picture is clear. And yeah, so all is well. And yeah, I wanted to talk about the flood in Texas, but as you can see, everybody's talking about the flood. It's really sad what happened. It's just unreal that the water grew to that amount in like 45 minutes. Uh, I really want to come to Tanzania, but to be honest, I fear for my grandchildren. If I leave them, I know, Lisa, I already know. Most people keep telling me that. Most people say they don't want to leave their family members behind. They don't want to leave, and I understand that. I get it totally. I was feeling some kind of way to leave my son. My sister, my father, everybody else is grown. My nephews, niece, everybody's grown. So I can't make them. But my son, I was like, oh, I'm leaving because of you. I'm trying to save your life. And he didn't want to leave. He was 20. He was like 21 at the time. And I couldn't make him leave, even though I brought him a ticket, even though he made me lose my money. I was trying to leave to save his life because I was like, I don't want nothing to happen to him. But he didn't want to leave, so he stayed. So I had to leave because I needed to feel safe. I couldn't function there by myself because I was single at the time, and he was grown at the time. So it's like I was just gonna be there by myself anyway. So I'm like, I'm gonna leave and go where I feel safe, where I feel peace, where I feel like I just felt like I need to get out of the U.S. I just felt like that, and then I was receiving spiritual downloads to leave anyway. I was receiving spiritual downloads since 2018 to leave America. So I finally left, and it's the best decision I've ever made. But I do miss the family members, and I miss my son. But I just pray for him. I just pray for my whole family. I pray that they're protected, they're safe. Or say, Lisa, my grandchildren are babies, and they aren't going to let them. I know. I know it's hard. I know. Yeah, Lisa, I know that's usually the thing that keeps a lot of people from wanting to leave. Yeah, Lisa, I just couldn't ignore it. I couldn't ignore it, because you know when we don't obey when we don't obey the messages that we receive, something can happen. Sometimes we're not in the right place to be protected. So even though we stay where we want to be with our family members and loved ones, sometimes we're not, that could be a situation where we're not protected because we're not where we need to be. Sometimes, even if we go where we're supposed to be, that we will be protected and our family will also be protected because we are the ones that are like the saving grace for the family, basically. We are the ones that's, our prayers are the ones that's going to protect our family members because we're obedient, because we are obeying. The Father knows that we have family members and loved ones that we love, we don't want to leave. But look what happened with Abraham. The Most High called, or the uncreated creator called Abraham to leave his family. The Most High called the Messiah and told the Messiah he need to leave his home and leave his family. They, they're men, so you know that it was very difficult for them to leave their families because they are men. But they had to obey. They had to follow the voice of course, the Messiah. He had to. He had a mission, and Abraham did too. They had to obey. And Abraham's father was a pagan, and so he's worshiping pagan gods and stuff. So they had to leave. So can you just imagine them saying, "I'm not going to follow you, Almighty"? And of course, the Messiah wasn't going, because he was born to do it. And Abraham was too, so they had to follow. So sometimes we gotta obey. We gotta obey, even though we're gonna miss and we look at this and that. We gotta obey because sometimes obedience is better than sacrifice. Not sometimes, it is. Obedience is better than sacrifice, and the Most High will take care of your family members. He will take, because you are obedient to Him. Like, I trust the Most High. So even though I'm not with my family members, even though I'm here, everybody's still asleep. Some people are asleep. They don't believe like me. They don't, but I have to trust the Most High that He's going to have the angels around my family members over there because they're away from me. That He's going to, bring us back together again. Or if possibly not, that He's going to protect them for my sake, because for my obedience sake. I mean, look what He did for Abraham, because Abraham was obedient. Look, Abraham would be a father of many nations. Abraham would have generations of children at his old age. He was given a promise. And then He promised Abraham that He would, He had to go into punishment and bring us back, all that stuff. So obedience is better than sacrifice. Just think about that, because you could stay and not obey, and then something can happen to you and everybody together. Yeah, y'all together, but because you didn't obey, you could be in the wrong place at the wrong time. If you obeyed, then your obedience could transfer over to the protection of your loved ones. And that's what I'm praying for. That's what I'm believing. I'm believing that I'm over here. I obey. I came out. And I wanted to, but the Most High know we got loved ones. He knows that we got loved ones. He knows that. Pray for your loved ones. Even when you're over there, you still got to pray for your loved ones. There are people that stayed together with their loved ones, and something happened to either them or their loved ones or the whole family. Like, stuff is still happening. Whether you stay or go, stuff is still happening. But when you know you following your Maker, when you know you're following your Father, when you know that He has the best, his desire is for you to fulfill His purpose in this earth. He's going to take care of you regardless of what it looks like, because it's going to look bad. It's going to look bleak. It's going to look, like it's going to feel like I can't do it, but you have to obey your Father. You have to obey your Father. So when it says obedience is better than sacrifice, when you don't obey and you sacrifice and you stay, something can happen to you. That's how serious it is right now. That's how serious it is right now. And yes, you know, you don't want to be separated from your loved ones, but he'll protect your loved ones. He'll protect your loved ones, especially because you were obedient and you're walking by faith. You're trusting him. He wants us to trust him. That's what he wants. He wanted Adam and Eve to trust him. We got to trust him. He wants us to do just like Adam and Eve had to do. Remember when they got put out the garden? You know, I read the book of Adam and Eve, and when they got put out the garden, they went through so much, but they were like babies. They didn't know nothing. They just had to ask the Most High about everything. Father, we're afraid. It's dark. Father, where do we, you know, they had to ask him everything, and he would answer them. So we have to do the same thing. We don't know how it's going to be when we leave. We might not see it. We might not see the money. We might not see whatever, but we know you told us to go here. We know you told us to come here. So we got to trust that you're going to provide. 5 years down the line, I'm still in Tanzania. Have not left to go back to the U.S. I've left to travel to different other countries on the continent, but I haven't been back to the U.S. I got family there too. My son did come here though. He came here by the grace of the Most High, because that was like a miracle that he came, because the money, the way the money came, it was like a miracle that he came to visit, because nobody had money, but the Most High worked it out. And he came and stayed for 2 weeks, but he chose to go back because he was saying he had a job, and I get it. He a young man, 20 some years old, 26, 25. He young. He was working. I couldn't make him stay again, but I could at least say he put foot on this ground, and he came to visit, and he came to see for himself. And so now he's a grown man. I can't make him do. You can't make these grown people do nothing. You can just pray for them, Father. This is how I pray, Lisa. This is how I pray. I say, Father, for my obedience sake, Father, you know, for what I'm trying to do, how I'm trying to live, please take care of my loved ones, take care of my family members, take care of Antonio. That's how I be praying. I be like, Father, I'm being obedient. I'm following you. I'm trusting you. Please, for my obedience, like you did for Father Abraham, for Father Abraham's obedience, and for his love for Father Abraham, he did certain things for Abraham's lineage, for his bloodline, for his sons and daughters. Same thing he could do for us. So we got to trust him. I know, you know, it seems like you can't wrap your mind around the fact of leaving your loved ones, but you got to put the Most High first. We can't walk in idolatry, because that's what it is. When you put something else before the Most High, you know he's speaking to you. He's telling you to do A, B, C, and D. We have to be obedient, because, you know, remember he asked Abraham to kill Isaac. I mean, you know, to sacrifice Isaac. Look what Abraham had to do. It was a test to see, are you going to commit idolatry, or are you going to do what I tell you to do? The father it was a test. So are we going through test too? He gonna see, well, you know, I blessed you with this child, I blessed you with these grandkids, whatever. Are you gonna put them before me? Are you gonna put your husband before me? Are you gonna put your wife before me? Are you gonna put your children before me? It's idolatry when you put anybody or anything before the Most High. So he can take it all away. He can take it all away. You don't want him to take it all away. It's better to be obedient. Obedience is better than sacrifice. So if you obey, then it'll turn out much better than you can imagine how things will go. But when you don't obey, then that's when it could turn out not good. It could turn out not good. You know, I'm not saying anything, but I'm just saying you stay and something still could happen if you stay, right? So obedience is better than sacrifice. So yeah, I had to do the same thing. You know, I left everybody and everything. I had material things that I had worked for, that I had accumulated. And I was like, I'm like leaving everything, Father. This my car, this my furniture, this. I like all my stuff. I left everything. And I heard in my spirit, the Father was telling me, leave that Babylonian stuff. I'm going to give you back everything that you lost. He told me to leave that Babylonian stuff. Leave that Babylonian stuff. Leave that Babylonian stuff, and I'm going to give you everything. And sure enough, I got everything that I lost. It's different stuff, but everything I lost, the only one thing I didn't get, the one thing I didn't get that I lost is a car. I left my car. I love my Volkswagen Jetta. I really did. I don't have a car here, but the way transportation is and the way these people drive, I'm not crying for a car. I have a personal driver. So I have someone that I can call whenever I need to go somewhere. And everything I need is in walking distance, really. And then if I need, I have a driver, and this transportation is so cheap. It would be more expensive if you had a car here. You got to pay for insurance. And then it's just, it will be I've heard some people say it's a bit of a hassle, but I'm not in a rush for that. It's time for that, right? I can get a car at any time. But my focus is I don't need it. That's the thing. I don't need one. It's getting to a point where even in the States, sometimes people ain't gonna be afford to have a car anyway. They might have to take public transportation. And at least I got a personal driver. I don't have to take a bus or, they got those things here, but I got a personal driver and it's comfortable and I get driven around. I ain't never been driven around. I feel like I'm a queen or something. I'm not lying. When I get chauffeured around. Since we get chauffeured around, we can get help with anything we need. If you got land, if you got live in a rental and you got grounds, you can have a groundsman. You can have a lady to clean your house. It's cheap. You could be. It's like you're treated like a queen or something. I can't describe it. If that's what you want to do, and it's for the low. So you get a better quality of life when you come outside to, they say third world, but developing countries, whether it's somewhere in Africa, whether it's Panama. My sister moved to Panama, whether it's Barbados, Caribbean somewhere, Thailand, Vietnam, all these different places that Black people are going to that are developing. You can get this top-notch service. You get treated like kind of like royalty a little bit. So I wouldn't trade it to be back in the States, because all that working and stress, I was going to do, what I was going to talk about. I did a video and I talked about this lady that died. She was in her 40s in April. I think her name was Quita, something like that. But she died because I think stress. She went to sleep and didn't wake up. And so this is in the States. And she had like a business. She was a single parent, a mother, I think, of two. She was taking care of her parents. She had a company, a business. She was about to open another one. She was overdoing it. And she went to sleep and didn't wake up. I think it was Keita. Yeah, of being here. Yes. I don't trust people. Yeah, that's true. I don't either, though, Lisa. I don't either. And that's the very reason I have not had a helper. I have not had a helper since I've lived here, because I do my own stuff and I'm kind of particular about stuff. I'm kind of, kind of ticky. You know how they say she ticky. I'm kind of ticky and particular about how things are done. So I don't want nobody touching my stuff all in my house. So this is for like ladies, like they might have kids. Some ladies have like all these children, 4 or 5 kids. They need a little bit of help with the clothes washing and stuff. But I never had one. So you don't have to get one. We used to doing everything anyway. But I just noticed, if you got a lot of kids, you can relieve yourself of too much. Like this lady that passed away. Yeah, Keita, I think her name was Marquita, or Keita, they called her Keita. And she posted on Facebook right before she died, saying Keita needs rest or something. Keita needs rest or sleep, something like that. She laid down and never woke up. She passed away. So that's how it is in the States. It have you on that hamster wheel, working and working, and your body ain't made for that. And of course, we have our Sabbath day of rest. So that's a blessing, because we weren't made to be like a machine to work 7 days a week. We got to have one day to rest. Got to have a Sabbath day, a day of rest. That's how we were created, by our maker, by our Father. He even rested. Come on, he didn't make us like that. know this, but some people don't follow the law, statutes, and commandments. You know, they're not in the truth, and they don't follow, you know, even in the scriptures. Even the Christians know that Sunday is kind of like their day, but they have a day that they work, rest or whatever, right? So, but that was sad. That was kind of like a wake-up call, and that's what encouraged me to do the video I did earlier. I was saying, don't let the US kill you, because you can be pushing yourself so hard to save money. I want to, like a lot of people saying, oh, I want to leave, I want to do this, but I gotta work, I gotta save money. It's pushing you too much, and it's wearing your body out and your mind. This woman was only in her 40s. And I can't imagine, because I'm in my 50s and I'm like, I'm too young. I still got too many years to live. I'm not ready yet. I want to be over 100. I want to live. I'm like, Father, I would live to 120, 30. I mean, as long as he allowed me to. But I want to live long. And we don't want stress and anxieties and all that mental to take us out of this place early. Yes, I have to get out, yeah, and work, because the commit. Oh, I'm so sorry. And now we on wow, Lisa, I'm so sorry to hear that. I am so sorry to hear that. And see, stuff like this can cause people to have a mental and physical. So you're going through this emotionally with your relationship, and now you got to work. You ain't even got time to process. You ain't got time to heal. You ain't got time to. Yeah, yeah. Since I came out by myself. I was married for 13 years. I came out by myself, and I'm. It's the best thing. I stopped working 4.5 years ago. I have not had a job since then. I've just been doing my company here and in my online consultations and doing stuff like this. That's it. The Most High been provided for me all the way over here, sis. Most High been provided. He was provided for me when I lived in the States, because I got divorced when my son was 12. And I had to be a single parent from my son being 12 to 21. So at that point, I was a single parent from like 2011 till he was 21, and till I moved out here actually. So from I divorced in 2020 at the end of 2011, 2012, and then I moved to Africa in 2020, and he was 21. So I had to be a single parent trying to fit for me and him. So I had to live on a budget. A lot of stuff that I'm doing out here, I learned it when I was a single parent, having to take care of him by myself, because I didn't get money or nothing. I had to do it by myself. Yes. Only of the mercy. That's right. Only through the mercy and the grace of the Most High. I'm here today. I survived being a single parent that I had never been before. I was married. And then I'm single. When he's 12 years old, I had to figure out how I'm gonna take care of this child boy by myself. And moved to a whole nother place. I moved from Georgia, Atlanta to Colorado. And so the Most High was with me, sis. He provided the job. He provided the car. I had to get like he provided everything. So I started with trusting him then, because I moved from Atlanta. All my family was in Atlanta. I had family in New Jersey and in Atlanta. But when I moved to Colorado, I didn't know nobody. It was just like me moving to the continent. I didn't know nobody. I had to start all over by myself. And the Most High was with me every step of the way. I didn't know how I was going to pay rent. I didn't know nothing. So I had a chance to learn to trust him even in the States before I left. So when he told me to go, I knew he was going to be with me. I knew he was going to help me. I knew he was going to provide for me, because he had done it in the States already. So I'm here 5 years later, and he been doing it. He been providing a way out of no way for me. I've been praying too. I mean, I done got so much closer to, I was close, but I've gotten so much closer to the Most High since I've been here, because I've been having to trust him for every little thing, everything. I always sing that song. It's a song that if he cares for the sparrow, then I know he cares for me. Every time I feel like I feel anxiety a little bit, like, oh gosh, this is due, that's due, I think about that song. If he cares for the sparrow, I know he cares for me. He be taking care of the birds and the animals. They like babies. That they gotta fend for themselves. They have no idea how they're gonna eat, but he be providing for them. You don't think he gonna provide for us? his chosen, his elect, the apple of his eye? Yes, he will. We have to trust him, and he gonna provide for us. So, you got to take the step out of the boat. You got to take the step out of the boat and trust him. You can't always have that check to depend on. We depend on these checks and be like, we can plan our lives. Oh, I know I'm gonna get paid this time for this amount, so I'm gonna be able to do this and this. But when that go away, you got to trust him, because you don't know where it's coming from. And it ain't gonna come the way you think it's gonna come. It can come from total strangers. Most of my blessings, sis, have come from total strangers. Total strangers. I have 4 in the live chat. Thank you, and welcome to the live stream. Whoever you are, thank you. Welcome. And so hopefully, you'll find value in this chat, in this conversation. But yeah, obedience, family, is better than sacrifice. So don't be afraid to step out on faith. Use wisdom, of course, but at this point, the way things are going, follow the Father's leading, right? If he's telling you to stay in the U.S., stay put. If he's telling you to come out, come out. Connect with people and come out, especially if you are an elder person. I would say millennial. Not millennial. What is it? Generation X. I'm Generation X. Generation X or older, you already retired. You probably get a check. It's no reason why you won't come out. You get you a residency permit in one of these countries, Africa country, Mexico, Canada, somewhere. Just come out of the U.S. where it's gonna be safer, because too much going on over there in the U.S. Look at the flooding. All those people passed away on the 4th of July or whatever. All these people. And one thing I did some research, family, on the Guadalupe River, the river that overflow. Our ancestors escaped through that river to Mexico. Our ancestors, because that area was owned by Mexico before it was Texas area. Before Texas took over, it was like Mexico. And a lot of the slaves escaped Texas, the slave trade, through that Guadalupe River, the one that overflowed to Mexico. And I'm sure a lot of our people passed away in that river because they probably drowned, because they said that it was practically impossible to get through that river to Mexico. But they said that some made it. They said some of our ancestors made it to Mexico through that, but they were floating on some type of cotton something. So it could have something to do with that same water coming up like it did. Some people say it's heart. I don't automatically blame it on heart, because I know it's judgment time. Yes, Lisa, I believe that. I believe that is judgment. It's not always heart. People need to stop using giving credit. People need to stop giving credit to heart for what the Most High is doing, because it's judgment time on our enemies. It's judgment time for the abuse that has happened to the children of Israel. Everything, all prophecy is about the children of Israel. Everything is about us. Everything is about us. So, I did some research on that river, Guadalupe River. And if you also do research on that camp, the camp that those kids, all those kids was camping in, a Mystic, something, Camp Mystic, something like that. It was I did a little historical, just a quick Google search, and it was it was like a exclusive Christian camp for girls, teaching them different stuff, but it was exclusive. So nobody black was there. Nobody was allowed. Nobody black was allowed there. So basically, it was a sundown camp. It was a sundown camp for white people only, because it was exclusive to Christians only. Oh, you did it, Lisa. Oh, you did a Google search too. Whenever a place is flooded, whenever a place is devastated, I do a research. I've been doing like a Google search, just a little search to see what is the history to slaves. I always like, what is the history to slaves? And that Camp Mystic, I think it because it was right on that. It was over there by that water. So they they was exclusive, and I know it was a sundown place, but you know, even going even further back, you don't know what abuses have happened to our people in those areas, because it was during slavery that these people, the people that bought the place, and they made it exclusively for Christian, evangelical Christians, you know, how they think, you know, they the ones that's enslaved. The KKK was Christians, you know. Lisa said, me too. Look, we was thinking of the same, you know, the set apart spirit, Holy Spirit, Ruach Akadesh is, you know, we got that same, it's connecting, we connected. So we be thinking the same way. we were thinking the same way. I was like, okay, our ancestors, you know, used that route, as well as that Camp Mystic was exclusive to white people. So it was a sundown camp. And look what happened to those children. I mean, I'm not laughing about that, but it's judgment time, because when our people was going through it, nobody cared. Nobody was concerned. Everything our people was going through, you know, everybody's going through it now. Like these immigrants, you know, how they finding these immigrants, they all chained together, and they're saying they was on a plane and they was dropped out of the plane, possibly, and they found bodies in Spain, the shores of Spain, washed up with the chains, you know, with them chained together. That same thing happened to our ancestors. But guess what? They was fed, the sharks was eating our ancestors, so nobody's was found. Nobody's was washed up of our ancestors when they was pushing them off the slave ships, and they was all chained together, feet and hands. Nobody found them because the sharks ate them. But these people's bodies was found, and guess what? It washed up in Spain and Portugal. They had us enslaved in Spain and Portugal. And you know, the Inquisition of our people was in Spain and Portugal. So all this is about us, family. It's all about us, family. So I'm just, every time something happens, I'm like researching. I'm like, okay, why this area? Why so many? Why this, you know? Okay, Lisa says, so you know what? I believe every time the Most High Yahweh strikes them down, they do something to us. All of us, yeah, a lot of our children are coming. That's right. I do believe that it's like a revenge thing, because they already know that our Yah is allowing this. Even if so-called harp, and even if the Trump or the administration is putting things into place, the Most High is using everything for His glory. And yeah, they are. I believe that. But you know, Lisa, they've been doing that to our people. You know, our people ain't never stopped disappearing. Our people all from day one, when them slave ships arrived on here. And even before the slave ship got here, when they killed off the natives, they've been doing this to our people from day one. They never stopped taking our organs. They never stopped eating our flesh, drinking our blood. They never stopped using our organs for melanin. Never stopped. It's always happened. But now, because of the internet, we're starting to, you know, see it more. You know, we're starting to see it more. So, but now it ain't only our kids that's missing. It's starting to be everybody's kids. You know, look what's happening to the immigrants. Their kids, the same thing. And it's the same thing that happened to us. A lot is going on with them immigrants too. So it's like other people are starting to feel how we felt. It's like the Most High is allowing people to feel like they crying. Oh, they separating families. Oh, people crying and stuff. They've been doing us like that. They've been doing us like that. When they stole us from Africa, they stole us. They sold us when we got over here to America, but they stole us from Africa. The reason I say they stole us is because nobody owned us. They kidnapped us. It was what you call it, the kidnapping thing, when you kidnap human trafficking. It was human trafficking. That's what happened to us. But everybody all sensitive about it. Oh, it's wrong, this and that. Y'all didn't feel that way when it was happening to us. Nobody felt that way when it was happening to us. Now all of a sudden people are civilized and they feel some kind of way because it's happening, and it's wrong either way. But nobody had that sympathy for us. But now the Most High is letting people feel what it felt like. He letting them feel what His people felt what his people went through, how his daughters was crying, how the daughters of Zion was crying when our kids were separated, when they took our children, when we was being gaped, we was being SA. Now everybody see how we felt. Now they see how we felt. And that trauma is still in it's a wound. It just don't end with our ancestors. That's a wound that's in us. It's in our DNA. It's a wound. It's difficult to heal from stuff like that. Very difficult. Alligator. Lisa says alligator Alcatraz is a mockery to when they. Yep, I believe that. Our children to alligators, they are going to use. Yep. Did you see the picture of the alligators with the MAGA hats on? It's just. But that's all right, sis. Don't worry about it. The Most High is going to show us some things. Believe me, somebody going to get some alligator bait, and it ain't going to be us no more. Our children was already alligator bait. But since he drawing attention to them alligators, other people going to feel what we felt. They're going to experience that alligator stuff. Everything that happened to us, Lisa, they're going to experience it some form or fashion. And the Most High is using all this to show his power for his people. Yes, hallelujah. All praise to the Most High. Gardening. Hi, welcome. Thank you so much. Gardening with Chevelle, happy God. Hi, thank you so much. Welcome to the live chat. All praises to Yahweh. Yes. Yah is showing his hand. All praises and glory and honor to our Maker, our Father, our Creator, that we are the apple of his eye. And he's avenging his children. And I'm grateful. And my heart is happy. I don't want to see people hurt or whatever, but it's just judgment. And the scripture says, only with our eyes shall we behold and see the reward of the wicked. Yes, hallelujah, hallelujah. All praises, glory, and honor. Only with our eyes shall we behold and see the reward of the wicked. That's just what the scriptures say. We served our punishment. The 400 years is up. And now the curses are reversing. And like the video I've been sharing on Facebook, if you are part of Deuteronomy 28, wake up now, the curses are reversing. It's a video that's going around with all the different tribes, the ladies and the men say, hey, I'm African American. They call me Judah. I'm part of Deuteronomy 28. The curse. I'm part of the scripture Deuteronomy 28. We waking up now, and they go through each tribe. I'm in Jamaica. I'm a Jamaican. They call me Benjamin. Like, it's going around. It's fire. I can't share. I haven't been able to share it on YouTube, but it's all on Facebook. And it just get me hyped because they show all the men from all the tribes, and then they show the women, all Negroes. Yes, all Negroes. Because who else fit the curses in Deuteronomy 28? And we know his plans. Yes, we know his plans. Hallelujah. Yes, they waking up. They waking up. Our people are waking up. I was super amped. I kept watching it over and over. They were like, we waking up now. They were showing all the different. They showed the Dominicans. They showed the Spaniards, the Colombians, all Negroes. It's everywhere. Even in Iran, they brother Benayah, he did the video and showed the Iranians, the original ones are black. They are black. They look just like us. They wear the thing on the head. They black. It's everywhere. We waking up. We was sent everywhere. Oh, Lisa, we friends on Facebook? Okay. Sis, I was so amped when I saw that. I was sharing it. I was just sharing. I was watching. Sometimes I just watch it over and over. It just make my spirit it do something to my spirit to see all these different nations saying, we call this, this tribe, we call this, We call Black Americans, but we from the tribe of Judah. And we fit the curses in Deuteronomy 28. We waking up. I was like, oh! Super excited, y'all. Super excited about that. So yeah, we waking up. And the more that we wake up, I don't know if y'all noticed, but the more that we wake up, the more things are happening to other people, the more like floods, destruction is happening. There is no room, gardening, which says there is no room for the wicked. They really don't know what's going. We need to continue to keep the law. Yes. And the days of the Gentile is open. That's right. Empower. Yup. Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely, y'all. Absolutely. We got to keep those laws, statutes, and commandments because we can get caught up in the judgment too. The wicked can get caught. Just because you in the truth don't mean that's a guarantee. You got to still be righteous, keeping them laws, statutes, and commandments. Get your healing where you need it. Clear out all the gook that you done, from the West. Just clear. Come out of her, my people, not only physically, but in the mind. Clear it out. Get your spirit pure. And just, make sure you cover your family and yourself in prayer. But only with our eyes should we behold and see the reward of the wicked. And we watching it. We are making history. We're watching our Father. When he said he gonna do this, and they're gonna know. These people are gonna know that he is our Yah, that he is our Almighty, our Abba. Like he's our Abba. Like we are his portion. We are his portion, fam. So 8 people in the live stream. Welcome to the live stream. Yeah, I'm amped about my people waking up. I'm amped because the more we wake up, family, the more destruction. And not like I'm, glorifying destruction, but y'all know why I'm super happy, because we about to get our place. We about to be put back in our rightful place. We about to get our promised land, our land. He about to show us our promised land. We the only ones don't know what our real land is. He about to show it to us. He is about to show it to us. Yes. So, if you that type, the way you like, I don't know where I'm from. Yeah, he about to show you. If you Black American, or you Black, wherever you dispersed, you don't really know your true land, where you from. He about to show you, especially the Black Americans. We don't know. We got a land. We got a land. We just don't know where it is right now. So people don't need to get it twisted and think, oh, they don't have no land. We come to their land and they can mistreat us and treat us all kind of funny. That's why I don't be worried about that. I'm in Tanzania, but everybody don't, there are people that they feeling us like that. Oh, people commenting to me talking about, y'all think y'all, we don't see y'all. I don't care what I ain't over here because what other people see. I mean, if we can live in America where white people been seeing us all kind of ways and we survive. What make you think I'm gonna come outside America and care about what anybody think? I don't care what anybody think. I am only here because the Father told me to come out of her, and he led me here. I'm not here for nobody else. I'm not here to make nobody happy. I'm here for the Father, because at the end of the day, guess what? Abba owns it all. The whole world belongs to him. You just have to be blessed to stay in your land. We was taken out because we had to leave Judah and us. We had to go because of sin, but we was taken out. You stay here. So, okay. Okay. We started from the bottom. Yup, that's it. That's it. We started from the bottom. Now that's right. So people be asking me, you don't be feeling some kind of way, because sometimes, some locals, I don't get it personally, but I see online, I've had, continental Africans be like, oh, you ain't from, we see you as a foreigner. I don't care how you see me. Do I look like I care what you think? If I don't care what white people think about me, I don't care what nobody think about me. That's how I've been able to be here for 5 years. I've been able to be in Africa for 5 years, in Tanzania, and I ain't for everybody. That's okay. I'm not for everybody. And if they ain't vibing with me, peace. They ain't got to be around me. They not paying my bills. The Most High is the one that's sustaining me. He's the one that's providing for me. He's the one that's giving me directions. So I'm not sensitive to care about what people think or feel. Shoot, we've been in the worst. We've been in the what you call it? The belly of the beast. We've been in the belly of the beast, raised in the belly of the beast, where people never accepted us. People low rated us and all kind of stuff, and we survived, and we still have confidence. So that's the worst of the worst. So if I could come out of there and go somewhere else, it don't bother me what you think about me. It don't matter. It don't bother me. I ain't here for you. I'm here on an assignment. I'm here on a calling, and I'm here to help my people in whatever way I can. So yeah, some of them are lost. Yup. The colonizers had them. That's true. Exactly. But they don't know yet, but they waking up. A lot of them are waking up too. A lot of them are waking up. And some of the ones I feel like that are commenting are possibly not Shemites. They're not Shemites. And I'm going to leave it at that. Y'all know what I'm saying. They're not of our tribes. So it's normal for you to say what you're saying and for you to feel some kind of way about me, because the scriptures say that anyway. All nations was confederate against us. Psalm 83. All nations cooped together and they was confederate against us. So that's to be expected. That's to be expected. Right. Exactly, Lisa. I'm trying to say exactly. But all nations was confederate against us. So it's neither here nor there for me. I don't base my life on if you like me, if you care for me. If I did that, I wouldn't even still be here. I would be, I guess, back in the States. Yeah, I don't care about that. I care about the Most High. I care about how he feel about me. It's very important to how Abba, the one who created you, your maker, feels about you. That's most important, because if your maker, your creator, your father is pleased with you, your path is going to be, he going to take care of you. He's going to lead you. He's going to bless you. He's going to keep you. He's going to sustain you. So he's the one you need to be worried about, not human beings. Don't worry about people who can, what it say? Don't worry about men who can destroy the body. Worry about the one who can destroy your body and put you in the pit. That's who you need to be concerned about, not men. That's right. Gathering with Chevelle. Happy Garden. Exactly. Everyone that are skin folks ain't. That's right. We know. That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Yep. I think if I didn't have that vibe about me, or that confidence in the Most High, and that kind of little feistiness, I'm a little feisty, family. Y'all know that. I don't think I would still even be here, because I wouldn't have been able to tough it out. People be saying rude stuff. People be trying to discourage you. People be trying to hurt your feelings, and it brushed off of me, fam. It brushed off, because I already know who called me. I know my Abba, and I know what he's telling me to do, and I know who has been blessing me. Our Abba, our Creator. I give him all the credit, all the glory goes to our Father, the Most High. Some people say Yahweh, some people say Yahuwah, some people say what GOCC say? Ahaya. Our Father, our Maker, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the Yah of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. In case you don't know, the one who created everything. He's not the universe. He created the universe. He's not the sun, the moon, and stars. He created all that. So we don't worship that. We worship the creator of the created items that you worship. These people worshiping idols and pagan gods, trees and water and all that stuff. We worship the one who created it all, the maker, our maker. He created all of us. From the soil of the sand, or the men from the earth. And then he took us out of our brothers, but he created us. So, yeah, We're going to be all right, family. We're going to be all right. We follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. We're going to be fine. We're going to be sitting here watching a lot of destruction, whether you in the States or here. You're going to be protected because he's going to protect you. I am just here just encouraging those who are interested in coming out. There are some who are interested and they've never left the country and they always wanted to come to the continent. And since some of us are here and we're available, sometimes they reach out and they're like, I want to come visit, see how it is. We're here. So that's what I'm doing. I'm here. If you're interested, I'll put my email address in there, diasporaconnect0@gmail.com. I do consultations and it's like I charge $60 for 60 minutes. So basically $1 a minute or $60 for an hour. So 60 minutes an hour. But I share a wealth of information. And once you are my client, you're with me for life, especially if you come here. If you come here, yeah, we're going to talk constantly. So even beyond the consultations, you might, need help with translating or finding a place. I'm not a real estate person or I'm not a land person or anything like that, but I know people that I can connect you with. But you gotta, how we gotta use discernment with everybody we deal with. Because people, you're not in the States, and even then you got to use discernment. But here you're in a different place, so you got to use discernment and be prayerful in decisions. But other than that, that's what I'm here for. So I don't want people to feel like they can't do it. I'm here. I'm at home. We live normally, like even in the States. It's different. The way things operate, it is different from the States, but I have a 2-bedroom apartment. It's a normal apartment. I have everything like in the West. Toilet, sink, stove, fridge, everything, table, couch, everything. And I can actually afford my life here. If I was living in the US, I couldn't afford to probably live there because I was working for a Fortune 500 company and I probably would have got laid off too, just like a lot of the other sisters did. I probably would have got laid off because where I worked, and I said this in several videos before, but I worked at Ford Motor Credit Company. So I worked for a finance company and we financed the vehicles, right? It was only a handful of Black people in the Colorado one that I worked. I worked in Colorado Springs. It was only a handful of us there. So I know all of us would probably been axed out. And so I would have probably been, if I would have still been over there, I probably would have been unemployed. So I just went on and quit back in 2020 versus just getting unemployed. Well, I didn't plan to leave. At least I, left and I still had a check and I even got sabbatical and I even had a 401k. So I was able to kind of plan versus them just letting you go and you kind of caught off guard and you didn't get to pay certain bills and do certain things, So the way I live here, y'all had a 1-bedroom because I was going to buy a house, but some kept telling me don't buy a house because I don't know. I felt like I was going to move back towards the South because I was in Colorado and I lived in Atlanta, but I'm from New Jersey. So I was thinking I'm going to move back towards the South where it's warmer, but it's just, I kept saying I want to buy a house, but I was trying to figure out if I wanted to do that in Colorado and something in me at the time, I feel like it was a set apart spirit. Most High was like, don't buy anything. Don't buy a house. So I was going to get like a condo or like a townhome or something like that. And it was, I kept feeling like, you're not even going to stay here. Don't do it. So that's why I didn't do it. So I'm kind of glad I didn't because I ended up leaving to come here. So, yeah. So the Most High, if you listen to him, he will tell you different things, ahead of time, like warning comes before destruction, and he'll plan for you to be in the right place at the right time, to keep you, out of situations, so it's good to listen to if he gives you like a desire or urgent thing to do something. It's good to listen because you could be, like I said, obedience is better than sacrifice. Obedience is better than sacrifice. You don't want to be outside the will because you didn't listen to this. Because if you don't listen to something he tell you to do, you kind of like outside of the will a little bit because you're not in the direction and path that he's trying to lead you to, right? So you're like out of place. So if you're out of place, then something can happen to you. Not like he won't protect you, your life, but you can get in a worse situation if you don't listen, versus if you listen, you'll be in a better position outside of, like, something can happen where you were and you look back and be like, man, I'm glad I got out of there. I'm glad I did this, or I'm glad I left this job, or glad I moved here because this happened in this place. So even in the place you are, it's good to obey. If you are getting an urge and Most High speaking to you, you got dreams, he dealing with you, he gonna talk to you, he gonna make sure you get the message as his child, but you gotta obey. Gotta obey. At least be taking steps towards obeying. Because a lot of people say, well, I want to leave, but I don't have the money and this and that. And that's not a reason to not at least plan. Like, you don't have the physical money. I don't have half the money. I don't know how none of the money that I had came from. I don't know how I'm able to, been here for 5 years. I didn't see the money, but I just was planning, right? I was like, okay, if I get some money, I always say that even to this day. Well, when I get money, I'm gonna do A, B, C, and D. That's how I always was planning. Okay, everything is set up. I already got plans in my mind how I want to do this. I'm gonna do A, B, C, and D. Got it all written down, or got it all organized in my mind. I should write it. I should have wrote it down, but I kept everything in my mind of like what I wanted to do. And so if I get money, the first thing I'm gonna do is do this, and then I'm gonna do this. So I have everything like all planned out. Like, I'm just waiting on the money. And then when the money comes in, that's one, you have your list. You have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things on your list, and you start from the most urgent one. The money come in, you do that. Then you gotta wait. You don't got the money. The money come in, you do the second one. You gotta wait. You're living your life. Money come in, you do it. So you got your list of what the things that knock off your list. As the money comes in, you start doing. And then after it's all clear, all those 5 things on your list, you have accomplished all those, and you got the money, and you didn't even know how it happened. You don't know how the money came. You don't know. Some people be sending you money. You be getting money, and people be sending you stuff you don't even know. That can happen. Because guess what? The Most High owns it all. Everything is his anyway, the earth and money. So he can bring it to his children whenever he get ready. But sometimes he's waiting on us to be obedient and to make a decision in our hearts and minds that we're going to follow him, that we're going to obey regardless, even if it don't look like it, even when we can't see it. I couldn't see coming here in 2020 that I was going to be here 5 years. I know I wanted to live here, but I didn't know how to do nothing. I didn't know the laws. I knew when I got here, I got that visa, the multi-entry visa, and I didn't even understand that when I came here. I didn't understand leaving every night. I didn't understand anything. Somebody had to explain it, how it worked to me, because I didn't know anything. Every time I get the money, I have to use. I got to use it on a hamster, right? But that's okay, right? Make your make your list. Make your list, and then the Most High will provide. He'll provide your money for your living right now, and he'll provide that extra for what. But just be convinced. Be convinced in your heart and mind, because if you're not convinced in your heart and mind, because it's going to start with the mind and the heart, that you saying, okay, I'm gonna obey no matter what. So you got to start with that, right? And then you got your list, and then as it comes in, he gonna provide money for you to your living stuff, and he gonna provide money for your list of stuff, because he wants you to do it anyway, but he got to wait till you convinced. Like you said, Lisa, you was kind of torn because of your grandchildren. So once you come to the decision, right? You come to the decision that, okay, Father, I'm just going to do whatever you told me to do. I'm just going to do it. You're convinced at that point. You're not going to be like, well, I don't want to leave this person. I don't want to leave my grandkids. I don't want to leave, because you're not convinced at that point. So it's going to be hard, for him to get that money when you're not even convinced that you're going to obey him in the first place. So you got to be convinced, first of all, in your heart and mind, that you're going to obey, right? Okay, no matter what, I'm going to put you first. I'm going to obey whatever you tell me to do, right? And then once you're convinced in your mind and your heart, regardless, then You have your list. You making plans, right, towards it. Just like if you've got the money in your hand, you making plans. It's gonna start coming in, but you got to be convinced first, right? Because it starts with the mind and the heart. Yeah, we worship the Most High. We live for Him. We follow commandments. But when it comes to faith and believing for things, you got to start be convinced in the mind and the heart. You got to be like, I don't care what it is. I'm gonna follow you. And that's how I was. I was like, I will follow you to the ends of the earth, Father. That's how I was. I will follow you to the ends of the earth. And once I was convinced that I would do that and leave everything, that's when the money started coming in. That's when the desire to do different things and everything started coming in. Sis, I know it's hard. I know, sis. He stuck to me. I know, sis. I know, sis. But that don't mean that you still do what you're doing. You still keep doing what you're doing. But in your mind, you got to reconcile in your mind that you're going to believe, you're going to trust him over everybody, no matter what it look like. No matter what it look like, he'll provide things. He can provide things to where it'll work out for you. You don't never know. You might come up with money to where you can, they change their mind and all y'all come. But you got to decide that you're going to put him first before everybody. Even before your grandbaby, Lisa. I know it's hard. You got to put the Most High first before everybody. Because guess what? That's adultery. And guess what? He's a jealous Elimo, Elohim, Abba, our Father. He's jealous over even children, grandkids, husband, everybody. You can't put nobody before him. He's jealous. He got to be first in your life. So that is very difficult. The children of Israel had a very difficult time putting the Most High first. Children of Israel loved other things over the Most High. That's idolatry. That's why we went into slavery to begin with. So we cannot do that at all. You got to put him first over everything. And he ain't going to tell you to do nothing he ain't going to tell you to do nothing that's going to hurt you. So if you put him first, then he can work things out for your grandbaby. He can work things out for your family. They can wake up and be like, let's go tomorrow. Your children can be like, let's go. And then let's go, everybody, the whole family. He can change the hearts of everybody. But you got to put him first, and you got to, let him know, Father, you come first. So it starts with your heart and mind. So you ain't gonna see the money right now. Believe me, you ain't. You might not. Unless you're rich, you ain't gonna see all the money you might need. But he can provide for you, just like he did for me, just like he's doing for me. Even today, he's doing for me. It's not been a time I've been hungry here. Yeah, it's been a time where I had to eat beans, rice, and greens. Beans, rice, and greens for like, I don't know how many days. But that's food, and it's healthy food. There have been times where I have to eat fruits. I have to eat healthy. I can't eat junk. I can't eat pizza, hot dogs, all that stuff. That's expensive here. It's cheaper to eat fruits and vegetables here. So that's my diet now. Even when I get money and stuff, that's still my diet. Every now and then I might eat some fish or burger or pizza, something like that. But, I've not been hungry. You got people in the States living out of vans, cars, storage units, out homeless outside. I've not been like that. I've not been like that here in a foreign country or another country outside of the U.S. I really consider the continent. I don't consider the continent foreign, but y'all know we got the passport. So we got the U.S. passport, so they consider us foreigners. So I've not been hungry. It's been a struggle now. I had to pray, like, Father, I don't see it. I don't see where the money gonna come for this. I don't see where the money going. I've had to pray, and he provided from total strangers. And he can do the same thing for you. If he's calling you to do something, whatever he's calling you to do, even if it's not to leave the U.S., if it's to stay or move to another state or whatever he's calling you to do, he'll provide for you. but you got to trust him, because you might not see it. I don't see it. We ain't gonna see a lot. His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. I would have never thought 5 years down the line that I would still be here. I was hoping I would. I was wanting to. I had a desire, but I didn't see how. I didn't see it. I didn't see how. But it's like through the 5 years, I have been redirecting. So I'm doing one thing, and I'm like, it's kind of stuck, and then I get pushed in one direction, a different direction, and it's like, okay, and then I get stuck there, and I'm like, I don't see it. Then I get pushed in this direction, and I'm like, okay, and then I'm going, and then I get stuck, and I'm like, I don't see it, and then I go, like, I didn't see none of this, but I'm like I'm on a path, and I'm being like directed and guided by the Most High. Yeah. Tammy Love, I know. Welcome to the chat, Tammy Love. Welcome to the live. I know. Just trust Abba. Just trust the Father. Be planning, making your plans in your mind and in your heart. Even if you're working, even if you don't see it, none of that. But you making plans, because when you start making plans, that's walking by faith. So even if you don't have the money, you can still write stuff down. You can still make plans, make future plans even though you don't have the money. So when the money come in supernaturally and the Most High send it to you, you already be ready. You already made plans. You already said, I do A, B, C, and D. I go to this country. I would do this. I would do that. The money come in, then you ready to go. So just make plans. He know our people is ready to go. He's given a lot of our people a desire to go, and it's going to be a mass exodus. So it's going to be ways that he's going to get our people out too, who don't have the money, who don't, have faith enough. I mean, we got to have faith too, because faith is like believing that you believe in something and you don't see it, right? You don't see your way out right now, but in your heart, you like, Father, I know you can do it. I know you can show me. I know you can provide whatever. So you got to have faith. Faith is walking by faith is like you don't see it, right? But you just believe, right? I just believe, right? So that's how it starts. You believe, and then the Most High will start, if you believe, it just a mustard seed of faith, a little bit, he can provide it. He can do it for you. Hi, Taste Rogers. Hey. Yes, Tammy Love, he can do it. He can do it for you. He did it for me. You do it for you. But just have to walk by faith. Y'all know the definition of faith. So, you gotta have faith. You gotta believe that he is a rewarder. He will do whatever he wants you. He's guiding you, right? So he'll provide everything that you need. You just gotta have faith in our Father that he will provide. Yeah, you in America, and this is going on and that, and you want to go somewhere else or whatever. He will provide. It's possible. The earth is his, and all the money in it belongs to him. He just need to get it in your hands, and you got to believe to get it in your hands, because your hands look empty like this right now. You don't see it, but he can get it in your hands if you believe him and you trust him that he can do it. He can do it. So don't feel discouraged. Don't feel down or something like that. You got to just trust him and believe him, and he will work things out for you. He will work it out supernaturally like he's doing for me. Is fighting, figuring out income with, right. And that's Tammy, that's everybody's obstacle. It was my obstacle. But guess what I did? I ain't trying to encourage people to do what I did, but I just left and I said, I will figure it out. I'm for real. I had no idea how I was going to do this, but I just know that the Father was telling me, come out of her. He was like, that's not your home. He revealed that to me back in 2017, when I told my story, my testimony, while I was on the praise team at church. And I was on the team. I was praising, I sang in church. And I heard this voice say to me when I was like in the spirit, I was praying. I was a Christian at the time. And I heard this voice say to me, no, I was in the truth. I had came to the truth, but I was still at church. I couldn't, I didn't understand how to separate myself from the church at the time. So I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna leave church because I don't know what I'm gonna do. But he spoke to me and said, I heard a voice to say, you're not from America, right? A voice said that to me when I was like on the stage, praise. I'm singing a song, but I'm hearing a voice. And it's saying, you're not from America. And I'm like, I'm talking to the voice. And I'm like, oh, for real? Well, where I'm from. I thought it was me. Saying that. But I was like, it can't be me because I'm like singing, I'm praising, and just like two things going on at one time here. And so it said, you are from Africa. The voice said, you're from Africa. And I knew it wasn't me because I never, ever thought of that. Well, I know during, slavery and Kunta Kinte, Roots and Queen, we saw all that. We know our ancestors were stolen from, Africa. But this voice was like telling me, like waking me up, like this is not, basically the voice was letting me know this is not your home. The voice was letting me know America is not your home. You're from Africa. You're not from America. That's what the voice was saying. And so I'm still talking. And then I said, well, I don't know. I said to the voice, I don't know anything. I said it was the Father at the time, his spirit, right? I was saying to his spirit, what I said, well, I don't know anybody in Africa. So I start rattling on in my mind, like saying stuff. The voice just went silent, nothing else. And so that's what that's what put the desire to move to Africa in my mind. That voice that I heard made me start like researching. I said, when I got home, I start researching Africa. And I was like, I was thinking, this is a big continent. I have no idea where to like start. I mean, I don't know. And guess what? The year of return came. This was in 2018. And I think the year of return was in 2019. And that's when I said, I'm going to go visit. So that's when I had my first visit on the continent, and I went to the year of return. I stayed for 2 weeks, and I came back to the States, and I was planning on moving actually to Ghana. I was going to move there, and COVID hit. And long story short, I had a ticket to come to the continent, and I was going to go to South Africa to visit because I had went to Ghana. And for some reason, when I went to Ghana, it just didn't resonate that was actually where I was from. I loved it, and I wanted to move back there, but I don't know, something was like, I don't know, I feel like the Father was like, that's not the country, but it's on the continent, but that's not the country. So I said, well, let me try South Africa, because I was online and I started connecting with a lot of Africans on Facebook, and South Africans kept saying, you look South African. They kept telling me, hi, Wakushi, hi. Greetings, welcome to the live stream. So the South Africans kept saying, you look South African. They kept telling me, you look Xhosa. And I was like, I start researching the Xhosa, and I look like them. I'm like, dang, I look a lot like these people. And so I was like, I'm gonna go visit them. So I booked a ticket to go to Northern Cape, where the Xhosa live, because I'm like, I look like these people. Like, I think I might feel like, I think this might be like where my people are from or something. So I had a ticket, and then that's when COVID hit, and all the countries were closed. The only country that was open was Tanzania. And then I saw Magufuli, like a lot of us, and he was speaking Swahili, but people were interpreting what he was saying. He was against the jab. I was against the jab. I was trying to leave because the Most High had already told me this ain't your home. I was like, I want to get out of this place because it's going to be bad here. I was in the truth because I knew what the scriptures was saying about the destruction of Mystery Babylon and all that stuff, and come out of her, my people, and all that stuff. So I learned all that too. And I was like, yeah, I'm ready to go. And so I called the airline and asked them if they could change my ticket from South Africa to Tanzania. And it was Qatar. And they said, well, yes, we have a hub in Dar es Salaam. So they changed my ticket for free because they kept canceling my ticket because of COVID. And so I was initially supposed to go to South Africa in May, and I didn't go. I didn't leave to come to Tanzania until July because they kept canceling. They finally rescheduled my ticket to come to Tanzania, to Dar, and I said, okay. I was leaving in like a month. They did it in June for July. I was leaving in a month. I didn't know Swahili. I didn't know T Shillings. I didn't know anybody in Tanzania because when I decided to come, the only person that was really here was Traveling Sister, and she was in Arusha. Nobody was in Dar that I could contact to get a consultation, to get an idea of how it is. Excuse me. So I said, oh, well, I'm going to wing it. I said, I feel safer with my people because I was like, yeah, the people on the continent, they my people. So I was in Ghana and I was like, I felt safe. And I was like, I'll wing it. I could wing it with my brothers and sisters on the continent. Because I did experience when in Ghana, they was very nice and everybody was friendly. And I just felt safer in Ghana than I felt in the States. So I said, I'm going to try Tanzania. And I didn't even really do research because I was determined to come. I was like, I don't care what, I didn't do no research because I'm going anyway, right? So, excuse me, the only thing I did was I booked a hotel for 2 weeks. I booked the hotel for 2 weeks. And the hotel I booked one close to the airport in Dar es Salaam, Julius Nyerere Airport. So I booked a hotel for 2 weeks by the airport. Now, the airport area is a local area. So it's not an international area. So they don't speak English. So, man, thank you. I'm glad. Gardening with Chevelle said, enjoying the live. I had shalom. Oh, oh, you have a shalom day. Thank you for jumping in the live stream. So the hotel, it was a local area, right? So when I, came, I didn't know if a local area, international area. Shalom, shalom, Duda, Tuda, yeah. I knew. Oh, welcome into the live stream. Welcome to the channel. Oh, thank you. And not 3 hours away. Okay. I thought it was something about the area. I felt it was. Oh, yeah. Wow. Whoa. Well, welcome into the live stream. I am a native to New Jersey. Born and raised in Jersey, moved to Atlanta, lived there my adult life, moved to Colorado Springs, lived there like 7 years before I moved to Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. And I did that during COVID, during 2020, when a bunch of Black Americans came to Tanzania. I was in that group. But I was one of the first ones to get here. And I'm telling my story about when I first came, I booked a hotel by the airport and it was local, fam. It was local. 11 people in the live stream. Welcome, family. I'm just sharing my story about when I first came to Tanzania. I was in a local hotel. Nobody spoke English. That area, hardly nobody spoke English. I didn't know it. I just wanted to be close to the airport because I was thinking, when the airports open back up, I'm going to go to South Africa. And so I wanted to stay close to the airport. I stayed in that hotel, y'all, for 2 weeks. Nobody spoke English. But when I say they treated me like the president. They treated me so special, family. When they loved me. This was like their first experience with like a Black American. And it seemed like everybody never seen, like, I felt like nobody in the area ever seen like a Black person outside of like the continent, maybe, or outside of, maybe outside of the continent. Because at least if I was like from another, country on the continent, I would be speaking like African Bantu language. Well, I was speaking English. And so they was just so like in awe at me. It was like I was like a celebrity. Like people was like in awe at me. Like when I was like, I'm from, I don't know Kiswahili. I don't know from America, whatever. And they was just like they was just in awe at me. Like I was treated, family, like a celebrity. I would go places, they would let me sit down. They was always speaking to me. I didn't know how to speak. I would just smile. I had a guy that a brother from South Africa connected me to another brother who was from Tanzania, and he was in the truth. So a lot of the Africans that I was connected with, they was in the truth on the continent, and the brother from South Africa was in the truth, and he connected me with another brother here in Tanzania that's in the truth. They Bantous, but they're in the truth. They follow the biblical scriptures. So he met me at the airport, and he didn't know that much English. He knew a little bit, because you know how it is with the Gen Zs. They be online and stuff, and they watch our stuff, so they learn pretty quickly. They learn quick, English and stuff. So he knew a little bit based on, he was like, he young, he online and doing all that. So he helped me. He would come to my hotel like, maybe 3 times a week. I would tell him to come like Monday and miss a day, just 3 times. And I would pay him to take me to the markets, take me to the pharmacy to get mosquito cream and mosquito incense and for malaria stuff. I didn't get malaria at the time, but I just wanted to. He took me to show me the pharmacy, the ATM, my phone. He took me to do everything, to markets, out to eat. I was trying local foods and everything. And I learned so much in that 2 weeks. He would say to me, he would treat me like a baby. Like he'll say mambo. He'll say mambo. And I'll say mambo. And, and so I learned to say mambo, what's up? Hi. Hey, what's up? And then Habari is hi. Habari is a little bit more formal. Most people in local areas, they say mambo or salama. Salama is peace. It's like shalom. Salama is like shalom, is peace. So they'll say either salama or they'll say mambo. That's what's up. And their language is a lot like ours in the States, of the Black people in the States, because they speak a lot of slang. Like Mambo VP, what's up with you? What's up with you? They speak a lot of like we do. And so that's how I remember some of the words, because I would relate it to the words we use in the States. So Mambo, like, what's up? Salama is like, it's like a more of a respectful, it's like hey, more of a respectful. Hey, peace. It's like a respectful greeting. So you wouldn't, if you see an older person, you wouldn't be like mambo, because that's kind of disrespectful. You'll be saying salama. It's like peace, hi. And then habari is hi, hello. Habari is hello. So it's the different greetings for the different types of people. And they taught me how to do that. And so I was learning that because the guy kept saying, say mambo. So then I started saying mambo on my own. I couldn't say nothing else, y'all. I would go places, mambo, and then they start talking to me. That's why he did. I'd be sitting there like just smiling like, I didn't know a word. And so I'd just be smiling. And then he'll have to tell them, Amani Khan, like she's from America, she can't. And so they'll just smile and stop talking. They just smile and stop talking. I mean, they just always thought that I was Tanzanian, because they have a lot of people my complexion here. So in Ghana, it was more like a darker skin, browner skin people. So I think in Ghana, they thought more that I was more like South, from the southern part of Africa. South Africa, they like more my complexion, right? So they thought I was more from Southern Africa, but they never thought that I was from America initially, until they had to really listen to me speak in Ghana. And then that's when they was like, okay, she's from America. But when they saw me, I think they thought I was from Southern Africa, which here in Tanzania, they was thinking the same thing, that I was from Southern Africa, because I used to wrap my hair a lot when I was out. I speak Swahili. Yeah, I speak Tammy. Like, yeah, I speak Swahili much better. Like, so I can actually live in a local area and still do everything. I know how to ask for everything. Now detail, like some details, I might not be able to like chat, like have a whole full-blown conversation going back and forth, but I can ask for things I need. And in Tanzania, the ladies don't chat like how I'm chatting now and how we chat in the States. The ladies don't chat like that. They just say whatever. So like when I go get fruit, they don't know that I'm not Tanzania. I have to cover my hair, of course, because you know, if I show my hair, y'all know they're gonna know because their hair don't look like this. So every time I'm out, I'm like this. I'm like this. You know, I'm like covering my hair, or I have it, you know, I have it wrapped. You know, I wrap my hair when I'm out. So when I do that, they don't know that I'm not Tanzanian because they are same complexion. And so I'll talk to them, and then they don't always know. I'll ask for my fruit, my vegetables. I can say all in Swahili. But when I'm riding with the bajajis or the drivers and they watch me in the river, you know, they look at you and then they'll say to me, "Where are you from?" They say it like that. "Where are you from?" They say it so aggressive, like, but that's how they ask, you know, "Where are you from?" And so at first I used to be like laughing, like, dang, it's like a very demanding, you know, but then I'll say, "Where do you think I'm from?" So I'll ask them, "Where do you think I'm from?" I always do that just to see what they say. And they say, Southern Africa. They say South Africa. They say, you know, mainly they'll say South Africa all the time, all the time. And so I say, "No, from America." Sometimes I'll be wanting to lie just so they won't, you know, sometimes if they know you from the States, sometimes they be trying to think you got money and all that stuff. So sometimes I wanted to lie, but then I was like, I can't lie, you know. So I say, "Oh, no, I'm from America," especially now because I speak more Swahili. And so I mix English with Swahili sometimes, but when I speak English, I don't speak English how we speak in America. I speak like kind of like African English. Like I'll tell them, like they say, "Oh," like if I say I'm from America, and they'll say, "Oh, Americani, Black American, whatever, whatever," and it's like, "Oh, I want to go to America," and then I say, "Oh no," I say, "It's not good." So I'll talk to them like, "Not good," and they say, "No." They say, "Huh?" I say, "No, no, it's not good." And I say, "I don't like. I don't like." And they say, "You don't like." So I talk to them how they speak English. So they'll say like "hello" instead of "hello." So I'll say "hello" how they say it. I'll say it how they say it. So I basically speak English how they speak English, and they don't always speak the full sentence when they speak English. Just like I don't speak a full sentence when I speak Swahili. I just say words. So if I go to get like avocado, right? So I'll go to the fruit stand. I'll walk up. I say, "Mambo Dada." "Hi, Dada." I'll say, "Patachichi," avocado. "Patachichi, moja," one avocado. And they said, "Okay." So ask me today, like this. I already know what they're gonna ask me. They're gonna ask me, do I want one for today, for tomorrow, or the next day? If I want one for tomorrow, I'll say kesho, that's tomorrow. And then they'll say one or two, mojo and Billy. I'll say from Billy, two, I want two, or one, moja, one. So I'll say all this in Swahili, and then I'll say keshu. So then they'll give it to me. Or mananasi, that's a pineapple. I like pineapple. So I'll ask for whatever, and I'll say, you know, one or two, and I'll say today Leo, or keshu tomorrow, or kesho kutwa, that's the day after tomorrow. So I'll just tell them what day I want it for. And I know, you know, nanya, tomato. So whatever I want, I'll just say it in Swahili. So when I do that, they don't always know that I'm not Tanzanian unless they start saying something to me and I smile and I don't say anything, then they know. Then they know, okay, she's not from here. But they may ask me, "Where are you from?" And then I'll say, "What do you think I'm from?" I never tell them where I'm from. And then I just be wanting to hear that what they say. And they always say, Southern Africa. One guy said Mozambique. That was my first time getting that. So, okay, one guy said Congo. Somebody said Congo. Somebody said Mozambique. They never think that I'm from America. They never think I'm from America. So they always think I'm from somewhere in Africa. So, but yeah, it's been a very a beautiful experience. I've learned a lot. Yeah, I've learned a lot, and yeah, I've been here 5 years this month, so all is well, and it's safe and very peaceful, very beautiful country, and whew, it's hot too. Yeah, Dar is hot, so but yeah, so this is kind of my experience and what I've been doing, learning. I'm learning. I'm not taking any classes, not taking any Swahili lessons. I'm just learning as I live here. And it's probably, people tell me that I should be, like locals tell me I should be speaking way more Swahili than I do. Probably so, because I just speak too much English. That's what they tell me. You speak too much English. But most of the people that I'm talking to are from the US or from the UK. They speak English. So that's why I don't live with someone that speaks Swahili. I have a groundsman and I have a lot of dealings when I'm out, but it's not enough, I guess, for me to just be fluent. And I'm a slow learner too. Some people are like, the younger people I think are like sharper. So they're speaking, they only been here a year, 2 years, and they're speaking a lot more fluent. But me, I'm a little slow when it comes to some of that stuff. So I'm just learning at my own pace. But I can function by myself without an interpreter. I would not try to do any kind of business transactions, and I would not try to buy any land or register a business and go to the tax. I wouldn't do none of that by myself. I would always have a local to do that for me. Even though I'll be there, but they'll be doing it for me, speaking for me. And it's always good if the person that I'm dealing with, the attorney, like my attorney speaks excellent English. He speaks excellent English. So I was able to talk to him about everything I want to do. Most of my landlords that I've lived in their rentals, they speak English. They're international. Just so happened the places that I've rented, the local Tanzanian is international. So they travel, so they speak good English. So I've been able to negotiate like my leases and register my business with my attorney, speak good English. So it's just that those parts been working really good for me. It's difficult when the person that you're doing business with does not speak English, because you got to solely depend on a local to speak for you. And sometimes you don't be knowing what they're saying. Now, if you know a little bit more, it's good. Then you can listen and you be like, wait a minute, Kaka, did you just say? Like, you can pull out words, and you can, like me, I can pull out words when people are talking. Some words I be understanding. So even though I don't understand the whole sentence, I can understand when you're trying to get over on me. I can understand when you're talking about me. Because I've heard I've heard people talking, right, in my presence, and they feel like you don't understand Swahili, and they'll say like Mzungu or something like that. So they saying like Mzungu Price, or they may be calling me a Mzungu something because she can't speak English, something like that. And so I have corrected people for saying something like that. Yeah, I have corrected people for saying something like that, like Mzungu and stuff like that. I'll be like, no, I'm not Mzungu. I'm an African. I know I speak English, but that don't mean I'm a Mzungu. I'm a white person. And some of them do mean Mzungu is a foreigner, but I don't care. I correct and I'll be like, no, I'm not a Mzungu. I'm an African, and I go through the history. I don't have to do that as much because so many of us are coming here and they kind of know who we are. But when I first got here in 2020, I would say the first 2 years I was explaining to people, our ancestors were stolen, and I had to explain who we are. We're not white people. Yeah, we don't speak another African language because I used to have to explain that a lot. But since we're coming here more, they're starting to experience being around Black Americans. or Black British or Jamaicans and Haitians or whatever. So they starting to know who we are. So it's better. But at first, boy, they was like, so you, like one of them said to me, where are you from? And I said, he said, are you from Kenya? And I said, why do you think I'm from Kenya? He said, because you mixing Swahili and English. And with Kenyans, they mix English and Swahili. In Kenya, they don't speak like the Swahili, the true Swahili like the Tanzanians do. Tanzanians speak the true Swahili, but the Kenyans, they mix it with like English, right? So he thought I was Kenyan, and I said, no, I'm not from Kenya, America. He said, oh, Black American. That's what he said. And so I was like, yeah, I don't be excited when they say that. And then he was like, oh, Mzungu. I said, no. I was on his motorbike. I said, no, Kaka, no. I make it a point. I'm like, no. He started laughing. I said, I'm not Mzungu. He started laughing. I said, I'm African. He thought it was hilarious. He just was laughing. I said, no, for real. Like, I had to get that point across. A Black American. Yes, I am aware of the history of Black Americans. I am. Yes, I am. About the ones the Aboriginal ones, Tammy, the ones, the Aboriginal ones, the FBA ones. I know about that whole thing. I'm not one of those though. I'm the one I'm the Black American that was stolen from Africa, and taken as slaves to America. That's my descendants. I'm not the ones the FBAs that were Indians or Aboriginal to America. That's not me. So I'm explaining to this Bajaji that I'm African. Like, I'm not Mzungu. I'm not a white person. So he just started laughing. He thought it was hilarious. And so he understood after that. But yeah, I go through the whole, now I learned, well, not now, but after a year, I learned to get them to understand. I learned to mention the slave trade of the Arabs, because that was here in East Africa before the transatlantic slave trade. So I'll say to them, you know the Bagamoyo slave port in Bagamoyo? They say, yeah. I said, you know the slave port in Prison Island? They say, yeah. I said, those were my ancestors. And they say, oh, okay. So they understand how a lot of us ended up dispersed to different places. So then they say, oh, okay. So now they understand. They would not definitely understand about the FBA native situation, because it's far from them. That would be so far from their mind for me to try to explain the FBA Native American thing, because they don't know Black history. They don't know a lot of them don't even know the transatlantic slave trade. So how do we get in contact with you about? Let me put my email in here. I'm gonna put my email in here right now for you. Email is diaspora. Oops. Oops, it came up. Let me see. Diaspora. Okay. I just shared my email address. Let me see. Let's see. Hopefully my phone is not acting crazy. I just shared my email address. Yep, I just shared my email address with you. Email me and we can, we can chat and everything, and I'll give you, the general information and let you know how I do things. But so yeah, the FBA conversation with the continental Africans, they definitely wouldn't understand, because a lot of them haven't left Tanzania. When you're trying to explain this, a lot of them haven't left. So you have to find something that they relate to, find something that they understand. You're welcome. So I realized that they do understand about the Arab slave trade. They do understand that, because it was here. They got the fort, the Bagamoyo slave fort, and they got the one on Prison Island. I have not been to the one on Prison Island where they used to quarantine the slaves, like when they got sick and everything. They would take them to that island to keep everybody else from getting sick. So they would quarantine the slaves when they got sick, so that everybody won't catch like whatever they had, and that's Prison Island. But Bagamoyo slave fort is right here, and that's where a lot of people are getting land in Bagamoyo. That's where the slave fort was. It's knocked down, but the pillars still stand. And when you go there, you can still feel and sense the spirits, our ancestors' spirits there. So so that's how I teach them who we are. It's easier to teach them about the ones that were stolen from Africa and taken to America than it is to teach them about like FBAs, that like the because I do consider myself an FBA because my ancestors were in America over what 500 years, and they basically built America, and it was built off their blood, sweat, and tears. So I kind of see myself as an FBA in that aspect. Not that I originate from the US, but I originate from Africa because of the slave trade, basically. So whether it was the Arab one or whether it was the transatlantic slave trade one. So but yeah, so yeah, I just explained that to them. And then when I explain that, they kind of understand like who we are. They kind of at least have an idea, because a lot of them don't know about the transatlantic slave trade. They have no idea about that. They weren't taught our history. Just like us, we weren't taught Tanzanians history. So they're not taught Black Americans history. So you have to figure out how you can get them to understand who you are. And that's one good way, when you relate it to the history of their country. And a lot of these countries, or a lot of these areas in Tanzania has slave forts. They got one, I think, in Tanga. I think they have something in Wanza. They have, Kenya. They had some kind of slave area in Kenya, in Tanzania. So if you are trying to explain to them who we are as the ones who were dispersed during the transatlantic slave trade, or the Arab slave trade, then you can relate it to that slave trade that they had in their country. And you can say, those people that was involved in that slave trade that happened in Kenya, in this area, well, those were my ancestors. Only because that slave trade started before the transatlantic, and we were running all through Africa even before the transatlantic slave trade. So not all of us derived or came from West Africa. A lot of people think that most of us was from West Africa because we came out through West Africa on those ships. But before the transatlantic slave trade, when we came out through the ships in Ghana, it was the Arab slave trade. And we was running all throughout Africa trying to escape the Arabs who was enslaving us. And so we've been running for a minute. Our ancestors been running. Then we run into the hands of being sold. So we're running all through Africa from the Arabs. Then we run into the hands of we got captured and taken by the white people over to America. So we've been running through Africa. Now we got to be on this ship, and now the Middle Passage we throwing in the water for the sharks to eat. And then we get to America, and it starts off with chattel slavery, with the abuse and the sullen, and we've been through it. We've been through it, family. Yes, Wilson Jean. Yes, we've been through it, family. We've been through, and we still survived. And the reason we survived is by the grace of the Most High, the uncreated creator, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because we will only live. I mean, how did we survive all that? We survived because he allowed us to live. He didn't let them kill us off. We could have all been gone, right? We could have all been gone, but we survived. The Arabs running through Africa, and then all the other tribes, some other tribes in Africa, I would say, I say that we're the Bantu tribes because we believe the same thing they believe. Their culture and all that, they believe in one Elohim, and they believe in the Bible, and they customs just like the Bible. So I say the Bantu people was the one they was trying to capture, because they was running all throughout Africa trying to get away from these Arabs they said the Arab slave trade was very brutal. They said it was so brutal. They said they used to castrate the men, and they said it was very, very brutal. And so, yes, many of our people, yes. And so they were running just to escape the Arabs. to run into the hands of, I guess other tribes who didn't really, they was, other tribes that wasn't with us, like down with us, like they knew we was kind of different. So they captured us, and then we were sold to these Mzungus and these, the Spanish and the Portuguese in the Congo. And then then you had the, what's the guy named Leopold chopping off the hands of our people. Like, we went through it in Africa as well as outside of Africa, fam. Outside didn't start our abuse. It started in the continent where we was. And yeah, there were people in America before Christopher Columbus, because we were running, think about it, during the Arab slave trade, we were running too. So it could have been people that was running and left Africa to go to America, the New World, even before Christopher and them, because we was running anyway. So we've been running for a long time. Family, we've been running for a long time. So yeah, our bloodline is running everywhere. So we all in Africa. We all dispersed through all different countries. We everywhere. But we explained to the continental Africans that we, well, the ones that were our ancestors, and I believe my ancestors were. That's why I keep getting this. You're from South Africa. You're from here. You're from Kenya. You're from here. I get that. I don't, they know what each other look like. That's one thing that I trust about continental Africans. I trust what they say. Continental Africans can look at you based on your features, and they can tell you where you from. I don't need a DNA test when I could come to I could go to any African country. I can go to Ghana, I can go to Kenya, anywhere, and say, where am I from? And they'll tell me Southern Africa. Everywhere I go. So why do I need a DNA test? Why do I need a man-made DNA test to tell me when Africans be telling me every day where they think I'm from? Yes, the Congolese, yes. And that was just the beginning, Wilson, because it never stopped. The Congolese have been what you call it, the unaliving of the Congolese started. It started when they took the slaves. That's when it first started, because the white folks went there to see all these. No, it was before that. Wait a minute. I think the Congolese were living peacefully, right? They had their own communities, everything, and then the Mzungus, white people, came to the Congo and saw how good the Congolese were living, that they were so advanced, and they had their own systems and all this different stuff, and they was not primitive. They lived nice. They was teaching these white, just like us. Yeah, they were probably teaching them how to bathe and everything, just like we did in America. We'd teach them how to bathe and everything. They were so developed that the white people was jealous, and they wanted they wanted the people to build up America. They wanted to have America be built like how the Congo and the Congolese was living, how because the Congolese they said they were strong, they were so smart, they was like top of the line. The Congolese was like top of the line on the continent in terms of development, right? It wasn't primitive. It wasn't like they were saying, oh, primitive, right? They said the Congolese, they wanted that. So they stole, the first slaves they stole was from the Congo. The first slave ship that landed in the US in 1619 had a Congolese king and queen. And the first group of people was from the Congo, the first one. And that they recorded. Somebody said that it was other slave ships before that, but the first one recorded that it had a king and queen from Congo on that slave ship and some people. So how can you say that you ain't from Africa? How can you say that when it's recorded that it was a king and queen from the Congo? So basically, a lot of the Black Americans don't realize that we Congolese. We're a Congolese family. Yeah, we came from other places, but the Congo was like it's the center of Africa. It's the richest It's the richest area, and the Congo was way bigger than they cut it up, right? Angola, Congo, Brazzaville, Congo, they cut it up, right? It was the biggest, massive, the center. It's the center of the world, and it had the most developed. And they said once those first people were stolen from Congo, that's when the brutality started. They stole the king, queen, they stole the people off, and then it was fight. It's been fighting ever since. It's been fighting, and ever since, over the resources. They stole people first, then they started stealing resources. When it became illegal to steal human beings, they went to resources, the minerals. They've been fighting over the minerals ever since. The Berlin Conference, y'all, was given the Congo and they did not know Congo was so rich. Yup, that was the region they killed. Yup, that's why Congo was the richest, the most. In Congo, they had the best of everything. So not only did Congo have, not only is Congo the richest, but Congo had the best looking, most handsome, the smartest. They had the top of the line Africans in Congo. They had the top of the line Bantus in Congo. And guess what? The white people wanted that. They wanted the strongest men to build up America. They wanted the most beautiful, most handsome. They wanted the best. They stole the best to go to America, to build up America, to have, what they doing, to set all that stuff, all that gaping and all that stuff. They wanted the best. We done taught them how to bathe. We done taught them we had to feed their babies. All this is the bloodline from Congo developed. It wasn't primitive like they try to make Africa in America. They try to make it, it's huts and all that. No, Congo was rich even back then. They was dressing nice. They wasn't naked. They had clothes. They had technology. They was developed. And these white people saw it and they wanted it. So they took people first, and then they start getting the resources after that. And it's been a war ever since. It's been a war ever since. So yeah, we the people, we special. Congo is special. That's why all of our people is getting genocided over there all this time. Just like in America, we've been getting genocided all this time. The people in Congo been getting genocide all this time. And the king and the queen in Congo went to America. So their bloodline, the king and queen, there was a king and queen in Congo that went to America. Their bloodline is over there too. So they got relatives in the Congo, and they got relatives in the States too. So it's in the blood, it's in the DNA. So some people are not from Africa, but then a lot are. And I know my family was. United Nations are in the Congo for that's right, as peacekeeping mission, when in fact they are training, that's right. That's right, Wilson. Absolutely. Absolutely. Congo is the richest area on the continent. Do you not think that the creator of the universe would not put his people he put his people in the richest place in the world? That's what Congo is. Look who is in that land. They're only poor because their resources are being robbed and they're being genocided. But they are the richest. Yes, they sent missionaries all through Africa, and all of them was doing the same thing. That was colonization. The missionaries brought the colonization because they brought the Bible, the white Jesus, and all that. They brought all of that to Africa. So they was doing their job over here while they took the people out of the continent and took them out to these different countries. And then that was the slavery part. And they had slavery even inside, but they was colonizing because they wanted the minerals. And see, they was trying to unalive all the Africans so they can have the country. They want the minerals, but they cannot get rid of the original owners of the land. They can't get rid of the indigenous owners of the land, which are Africans. Even in South Africa, they wanted all the Dutch. They wanted all that. They want the country, but they can't get rid of the original indigenous people that the Father put on those lands. It's too many of them. They can kill off a lot, but guess what? They have babies. The Most High said that we would be as the sand of the sea. We would be at the sand by the sea, and of the stars. It would be so many of us. So nobody can get rid of us. Nobody can exterminate us. We're going to keep producing. So they could not get rid of us enough to take over. Using the same Bible, the more they pray, the poorer they. That's true. That's true. They just have to know. They don't know who they are, because the thing is, our people. It's nothing wrong with a Bible in that, because I still subscribe to the Bible, but there are different versions. But if you don't know who you are in the Bible, you will feel like these white people are the chosen children of the Most High. They're not. It's us. And they just reversed it. They brainwashed us to think that they are the people. They are the chosen people in the Bible. They're not. They was given the land. They weren't. The people on the land are the richest people. The people on the land are the children of the Most High. He put his own people in the richest lands under gold. His people are walking on gold, even though they're poor, because it was being controlled and taken from them, and they're being abused and all that. But yeah, that's going to end. It's going to end, because time is up. I know people can't see it right now, but it's going to end. That's going to stop. And I don't know if this whole Trump situation with the Congo and Rwanda, this peace thing, I don't know if that's really going to happen. But the Father can use any situation to bring peace to an area that has never had peace. Congo has never had peace since they stole the first slaves. After that, they took people first. They made it illegal to take people. Then they started taking minerals. Then they started abusing, and then that genocide and all that stuff, right? But if this is the case, and in peace, they have peace in Congo and Rwanda, and it's peace, then this could mean that something is changing, and it don't matter who it is. Not that Trump is nobody special and he's of the Father or nothing like that. But guess what? The Father can use wicked people also. He turned Pharaoh's heart hard to the children of Israel when he was trying to bring them out, and Pharaoh wouldn't let him go. And scripture says the Most High made Pharaoh's heart hard towards letting the children of Israel go. So then it allowed Moses to go ahead and bring about their demise, killing these children and opening the Red. Like it was able to show the power of the Father, because what the scripture says, the Father is the one that hardened Pharaoh's heart. Pharaoh was wicked, but yet the Father hardened his heart, so his glory can be revealed and everybody can see his power. So even in this situation, peace for Congo and Rwanda, the Father could be using this man to bring about peace, but that don't mean that this man is a good man, he righteous, he whatever. He can still be wicked, but the Father can use a donkey. He can use good, he can use evil. He created good and evil. He can use whoever he want to do to accomplish his will. So however it means to bring peace, he can use whatever to bring peace. If people would read the Bible and ask for revelation, they will know the truth. True, Jesus is not white, and the man in the picture is portrayed of one of the white. Yeah, that's very true. G. Doss Smith, very true. The troll of most poor in Congo. Right, Wilson. So watch it closely. Believe me, just because he's getting it don't mean that it could be the Father's will to bring peace some kind of way and stop the killing, to allow people to travel there, bringing peace and allow tourism in the Congo, in areas that has never been able to have peace and has never been able to have people to tour and to visit and bring peace and security. Then people feel comfortable going to visit Congo, and then the country will open up, and then it will allow certain people to come back. So the Father is working things out, and he can use whoever. Ain't nobody so holier than thou or wicked to the point where he can't use them. He can use wicked people to do things. The Father can use wicked people to hurt, harm, and enslave. He can use wicked people to do good things. In the Bible, the Father used Cyrus, I think, to allow the children of Israel to build a temple, and he was wicked. So the Father can use any leader. He can use any human being. If he can use a donkey to speak, he can use anybody to accomplish his will. If he can use Trump to bring peace to Congo, for people to travel there, for tourism to go there. That'll be the first time there's peace there. It ain't like Trump is nobody special, but it's the Father's will being accomplished in this whole thing. The deal is not about peace. Right, it may not be about peace, but the deal is allowing peace allowing it to be peaceful enough for people to come in. Hey, Rockabye baby, welcome. Allow people to come in and be able to at least visit. Right now, with the massacre and stuff, people can't go in there. People can't go visit. People can't go even see what it's like. It's the children of Israel. I mean, it's the children of Israel that been taken out of Congo that can't even go back to visit. If there is peace in that region, then that is an opportunity for us, any of us, to go visit, to see what it's like, to people to go visit. And, he can move people and get people in the right position, bring those that were stolen back to that area. You never know. I look at it like that. It ain't even about Trump. It's about the Father, because he's the one that's pulling all the strings. It's his will be done. He's the one controlling the whole thing. Trump ain't controlling nothing. He's being used. Everybody is being used to accomplish the Father's will in the earth. So we will see how this goes. Exploiting. Okay, but we will see, Wilson. Let's see how it goes. Because if this will be the first time there's peace, then that is a start, because it hasn't been peace in forever. Over 500 years or so. Forever, right? If there is a chance for some peace at all for people to be able to go visit, that's a start where people can at least go. It's people who left their land. It's people who was taken from there and they never been back. If there is a bit of peace, then people can go visit at least. So kind of look at it like that. Yeah, it's for a reason. Trump might think he's doing it for a reason. It's for money, this and that, but Most High got a bigger plan. And it's his plan ultimately that's going to, his plan is to get everybody lined up to where they need to be, because the book of Revelations talks about what's going to happen. And the Most High is getting his people in place. People don't believe that, but just keep watching and see how things turn out. I think it's a good thing if there's a possibility that there's peace. The Rwandan president and the Congolese president at least agreeing, even if it took a white man to do it. That's a start, because the African presidents on the continent wasn't able to bring peace, make them talk to each other, right? Yeah, there is. Congo is, yes, it is. It is I feel like it is the place, because all this started there and it has to end there. The first slaves, to me, was stolen from there. It started there. And then after that, everybody else started being taken, at least to America. I don't know about the other different countries, but to America, the first slave ship was from the Congo. So basically, The slaves that went into America started from the Congo. So because it started there, it might end there. The peace will come there eventually, so the people can go back to their rightful home. It got to stop. It has to be stopped some kind of way. Most High use anybody, whoever, to stop it so people can at least go visit and see, you know, it's safe enough for people to go back home or people to go visit or whatever. And he's going to draw the people back who are from there. People, that's their home. He's going to draw them there. Just like he's drawing a lot of us out of America back to the continent. We're being drawn by the Spirit. He's going to do the same thing with Congo when it's peaceful. He's going to draw the rightful owners, the people who belong there, the children of Israel who belong there. He's going to bring them back. There's no playing. They won't. Oh. Yeah. Right. They're all right. They're all puppets. But time is up. Time is up for the Congo to have peace. Africa. That's true. Very true. I've heard that. It's like Africa won't have peace until Congo has peace. Until the Congo has peace. So if just the idea of the two presidents agreeing, right, to have peace with each other because of this white man, it don't matter if it's a white man. It's the fact that they agree to have peace, right? So now, once they do that, they clear everything out. People stop killing each other and they build up the infrastructures and blah, blah, blah. People can start visiting. People can start going there. People can start going back home who fled and who left. So it's a start. Just the talk of peace. The talk of peace that never came up in between Congo and Rwanda because nobody was able to talk to the two presidents. But they like white people so much that they want to listen to the white man. It don't matter who the mouthpiece is. It's getting done, right? It's getting done. Where do you think I have no idea, Lisa, where the wilderness is. I'm just waiting over here. I don't know where it is. In a way, I feel like it's somewhere in Africa. I do feel like it's somewhere in Africa because I don't know why. I just feel like, because I feel like the people of the Most High is over here. Because I feel like when the Father said that in biblical scriptures, when he was like, they parted my land and they stole my goodly things. I feel like they talking about the Berlin Conference. I feel like he's talking about Africa when all the nations cut up Africa and they claimed different areas for their own. And when the Father said they cut up my land and they took my goodly things and how they plotted against, all the nations plotted against the children of Israel, saying we're going to, get rid of them, but the name of Israel be no more remembrance. That's why I think it's the continent. It's because that's where they was plotting and planning, and all these different countries laid claim on different countries on the continent. France took this, and the US took this, and Germany took this, and Portugal took this, Spain took this. Nobody else ain't do that to no other continent, but it was done to Africa. And all these people that claimed Africa during the Berlin Conference, none of them was African. They was all from other places, but they all wanted they wanted these countries because they have the resources. All the riches are in Africa. Africa feeds everybody. So what land in the world would you think the Most High would be his promised land? The riches, right? The richest land that has all the riches. People are walking on the streets and they got coltan and they got gold and silver and minerals. In Tanzania, they got tanzanite and gold, and they walking on it. They're walking on it. So this is the richest land in the world, the continent. So I feel like the promised land is somewhere in Africa. And it could be the whole continent for all we know, because I feel like 12 tribes, they need more than just one little slab of land. I feel like the 12 tribes got more than just a little sliver of land like in the Middle East. So I feel like maybe the Middle East is included because that's North Africa, right? So that's included in the Father's land. You know, they cut that part. They cut that up and made the Middle East. But at one point, it wasn't no Middle East. It was like Africa. All of it was Africa. So I kind of feel like the wilderness is in Africa. I feel like maybe all of sub-Saharan Africa, or maybe the whole entire continent could be the promised land. That's what I think. But I'm waiting to see. The Father's going to show his people. He's going to draw his people where he wants them to be, even the ones in the States. It's going to be a mass exodus, and they're going to come out too. He's not going to leave his people behind. He's going to bring it out before he destroyed Babylon. He's going to bring his people out some kind of way. I don't know how the Father worked. I have no idea how he's going to do it, but it's going to be supernatural. Hey, it could be through Trump again. The Father could be using Trump to do a lot of stuff. People kind of like, feeling some kind of way about him or whatever. But he might use Trump to start deporting. He might use Trump to start deporting black people to Congo. He might say, I don't know why this is coming to me, y'all. He might say, we're going to have peace in Congo. And since the presidents are okay with each other, and we're going to build up the infrastructure, we're going to do this, and then we're going to start sending the black Americans over there, because we want America to be white, right? We want America to be all white. So we're going to send all of the black the descendants of slaves, the 14th Amendment ones. We're going to send them to the Congo because, we building that up, and, we're going to send them over there because we want America. We want America to be white again. So it could happen like that. They just like they paying people. The U.S. is paying people to deport, to self-deport. They're giving them $1,000. They are buying them flights to whatever country they want to go to. Listen to this. They're buying them flights to whatever country they want to go to. They're giving them $1,000. Now they have to willingly self-deport. They might do black people like that. They might be like, we'll charter a plane, we'll charter a bus, whatever. I mean, not a bus. We'll charter a plane, or we'll charter a boat, a ship, and we will give you money, maybe reparations or maybe not, but we'll charter something to send you somewhere in Africa so you can be over there. They know where we're from. You can be over there. Now, if you FBA and you native to America, then you're not included in this conversation. We talk about the 14th Amendment ones. We talk about the ones where they created the 14th Amendment for the descendants of slaves. We talking about those people. He can say, I will charter this and send you to the Congo because it's peace over there and we building it up, and we want America. See, he's looking at it like we want America to ourselves. We'll send y'all over there. We'll be put in our promise. We'll be put in the richest land on the continent in the world. We'll be over there, and they will send us over there, and they will take us over there just to get us out of the U.S. But you're going to have some people that love the U.S. so much that they want to go down. They want to die for that place. They want to die for that place. They ain't going to want to leave. Even when the Most High do something to make them leave, they're going to want to stay in Babylon. Worked, peace. But Congo's leader is yeah. But you know what? God's child, he loved white people. So he bowing to Trump. You see the pretty lady he sent over there, the African lady that he sent to talk to Trump. She's so pretty. He sent her over there. She was so sweet. I was kind of mad at first when I heard her, but what can I do? I can't, how y'all know how that is. We got people in America like that, but she's saying whatever she got to say. You know what I'm saying? So she's thanking him for peace, but that means a lot to her because she's looking at it like nobody else could even make them consider being peaceful towards each other. None of the African presidents could encourage them to be brothers, to be peaceful, but a white man had to do it. And so she was telling him thank you and stuff like that. So I get it, but all this could be for us, family. It could be for us. Yes, Trump wants the resources of Congo, but that don't mean he gonna get it. And so he brought peace, and so he'll get the resources, but the resources are on the ground. Can't nobody own Congo but the Most High because he created it, and he can't get rid of the people. And he's bringing peace, so that means that they want to have people traveling there. They want to do businesses there. So then people will be able to go visit. And then, like I said, they might ship the black people there back to where the first ship that left Congo and went to America might be the same ship that's going to take them back to Congo. So look at it like that. Look at the bigger picture. Don't just look at Trump. He's just a man. He's being used. Yeah, he can be used by the devil, but he can be used by the creator who is in control of everything. And the scriptures, if you believe them, they say we win in the end. They say we will be brought back with a right outstretched arm and a mighty hand back to our land. That you don't know how that might happen. You don't know how that might happen. He can, like Cyrus, it wasn't Cyrus wicked? Did he allow the children of Israel to build the temple of the Most High? He was wicked. Most High can use wicked people. So don't just look at it like, oh, Trump, this. They all want money. They all, the Congolese president and all of them, they all want money. That don't stop the Most High from using them to accomplish his will. He's the creator and the maker of everything. It's his land. So he can do however he see fit. I'm seeing the bigger picture. I'm seeing that it's opening doors for the Congo to have peace, or for people to at least go visit and feel safe. They can build it up. So when we do go, it'll be all built up, just like the Chinamen. The Chinamen are building up places in Africa, and people feeling some kind of way, right? My girlfriend told me this. I'll never forget this. Don't feel some kind of way, because guess what? They're doing it for us. They're building it for us. All these nice roads and all. It's going to be for us, the children of Israel. Yeah, they're building it, but they're not going to take over. They don't even have enough people. They dying off. How they going to take over? The white people dying off. They got to stay where it's majority of them. That's why they're trying to gather together. They're bringing the South Africans over there because they dying off. They're not having kids. They're going to try to get rid of the mixed ones too, so it don't make sense to be interracial, because they're gonna put your kids out anyway. That's not going to work. And they're not having children. Their DNA is they're not having kids. So they're not able to produce. They're not reproducing after themselves. The Chinamen not, the white people not. Only people that's reproducing is the dark melanated people. The Latino people, black people, Indians, Arabs, they are reproducing, but white people are not, and Chinese are not. So don't worry about them trying to take over nothing. They better be trying to keep their bloodline together. They got to worry about that, then worry about trying to do something to us, because we multiplying. We ain't only in the US, we on the continent, we in Haiti and Jamaica, and here we everywhere having babies. Brazil, we everywhere. They can't get rid of us. So they better worry about their own bloodline that's kind of dying out. You got Chinese men looking for black women, because they know that they don't have enough women. The Chinese don't have enough women, so they got to come to Africa and get with the African ladies and go to America. They got to look for black women. Those kids ain't gonna be Chinese. They ain't gonna be accepted. They're gonna be black. So even when they mix, they're gonna be black still. So that's how it is. You got to look at the big picture, family. Don't be worried about these other nations. Don't be worried about the corruption. Don't be worried about these presidents, because just like they're there, they can be gone. Because the Father is the one that gives you the breath of life. It's by his grace they still alive right now, because they breathe in his breath through their lungs. So he can use them, in the last days for his glory. Yeah, they can go wicked, but he can use them to accomplish what his purpose is in the earth, and to help his children get back in position where they supposed to be in the promised land, or in the wilderness, wherever he wants us to be. He can open doors for us to be able to get where we need to be. And so we can't doubt that he is in control. We can't look at men and think, oh, this man, that man, Trump, this man, the Congolese president, and Kagame, and this. The Father is the ultimate authority. He's going to move these chess pieces. They chess pieces. He's just moving them where he need to move them to accomplish his will and set things up for his children. Set things up for his children. So we're going to have everything that we was promised. We're heir to the promise. And that's the difference between us and the fake people. Like people say, what? Thank you. Thank G. Doc Smith. G. Doc Smith, thank you. That's between us and, like, for example, Christians, right? Or I guess, you know, like people say, what difference does it make that you guys are the people? What difference does it make that you guys are the children of the Most High, right? The chosen. You know, the Christians say that, white people say that, other black people say that. You know why it's important? Because guess what? We are heir to the promise. We are heirs to the promise. So nobody else is. That's why it makes a difference. It's not only about skin color. It's the fact that we are heir to the promise. And we've been promised certain things. We've been promised land and a lot of stuff. So that's why it's important who we are. That's why people need to know the truth about who we are. Because everything that's happening is about us. It's about us. It's not about the people in the Middle East. What they say, SOS. It's not about the SOS in the Middle East that's being run out of the promised land. It's not about them. Even the Christians, you know, they didn't take the children of Israel's place. They can be grafted in. I believe that if they accept the Messiah and accept the truth, then they could. But a lot of them ain't gonna accept the truth. I mean, I'm just saying, they ain't gonna want to serve a black Messiah. They ain't gonna want to serve Elohim. He black too. Because his people, how his people look and how his son look, that's how he look. So they ain't gonna want to accept nobody like that. So they, you know, they may not, they might not make it. You prejudice and you racist, you ain't gonna make it. So it does matter who we are. It matters a lot who we are, because we're heir to the promise. We've been promised certain things. So it do matter. So yeah. But anyway, I don't know how I got on this subject, y'all. I guess talk about everything that's going on with Africa. And I'm looking at the whole picture because I'm on the continent, and I'm looking at the picture. And I'm looking at America, being from there, and I'm on the continent, and I'm seeing all this going on, and I'm seeing everything coming together based on the biblical scriptures. The book of Revelation. It's all coming together because he said in the last days, he gonna bring his people back with his right hand and his outstretched right arm, his mighty arm of power in his right hand. He gonna bring his people back, but he don't say how he gonna do it. He could do it in ways we don't know, we don't understand. He controlling everything. We just gotta trust him and watch. Only with our eyes, family, shall we behold and see the reward of the wicked. Only with our eyes. So, yeah. So thank you so much, everybody. But it's like 6 people. Don't forget to like, family. Don't forget to like and comment, or like and subscribe and hit on the notification bell so you can be notified. So whenever I do a live or a video, you'll be notified, and hit all in the notification part. But yeah, I guess I'll end it. I went way off. I started talking about all kinds of stuff. But I guess we flowed, right? We flowed. Somebody needed to be encouraged. Somebody needed to hear this. Somebody needed to know Most High is in control. Trump ain't in control. He's doing things, but that don't mean he's in control like you think he is. He's making decisions, but that don't mean that he is in control, because if y'all think about it, he a puppet too. Because there is a deep state that runs the country. There's other things, other people that run the U.S., not Trump. He's like a puppet too. All the presidents are puppets, all of them. So he's being told to do this stuff, right? He's being told to do this stuff. So don't think it's just him. He ain't that smart. He's being told what to do. And I do believe, this is just my belief. I believe that the U.S., I did hear somebody say this, and I believe this. I believe that the beast system, the beast system is in the U.S., like it starts in the U.S. So yes, it's going to be dispersed throughout the world, because everybody looks to the U.S., right? But I believe the seat of the beast system, the seat of the beast is in the White House. The seat of the beast, like the demons, like the fallen angel ones, the real fallen angels, like in the book of Enoch, they're real and they live among us, and they control, they run the U.S., and they're seated in the White House where the mark of the beast system is starting, and then it's going to be dispersed throughout the world. But the seat of the beast is in the US for sure. The dragon that gave the beast power is in the seat, is in Washington, D.C. That's just my thinking. And that's another reason why I wanted to get out of America, because I just knew it was the seat of the beast based on the scriptures. And that's just my view. And that's another reason why I just wanted to get out of there. I just didn't want to be there. After I found out all this truth and start all this stuff, and it could just be my belief, because people believe different things, but just my personal belief, I believe it is the seat of the beast. And the beast will be seated in there, the beast system, or the, the mark of the beast and all that stuff. It starts, it's in Washington, D.C. Like it's out now. Y'all seen people getting the little stuff and all this different stuff. But the seat, and then, the dragon that gave the beast power and all that, I think that person is going to be seated in Washington, D.C. somewhere, or in there right now. Like those monsters. Those are demons. They're monsters, aliens. All these people are in America. America, the one made the deal with them. Those things are, America been in contact with those aliens. Like they made a deal with those things. Why do you think people disappear? They eat flesh, they drink blood. They're in America. That's the seat of the beast, the White House. They probably go for meetings underneath, and they probably meet with those demons and the fallen angels. All that stuff is real, family. It's right there in Washington. That's what I believe. So everything that's going on is confirming this. People been seeing them now. People been missing. Yeah, they eat people. They eat human beings. They eat, especially us. Because we got, we are the chosen. We got melanin. They want the melanin. They want our organs. We're superior. The Most High made us like that with these superior. They want to do lab testing on us and all this. We are the target. We are the targets. So, and then also, the natural disasters and all that's coming for the sundown towns. People keep saying it's HAARP. But I would think HAARP would go after the Black community. I mean, that's just my thinking, but I don't know. If it's HAARP, I think HAARP is run by a bunch of white people or a bunch of fallen angels or whatever, but they go on for sundown towns. So make that make sense. If it was HAARP and it's a bunch of fallen angels and it's a bunch of white people killing people with this HAARP, why they not coming for like the Black people, like in bunch like that? But it's going to sundown town. So think about that too. Is that really hard? I don't blame everything on man-made stuff, because I know the Most High is in control and it's judgment time. So even if they tried to initially start it, maybe the Most High allowed it, and that's why you see what's going on in these sundown towns. These sundown towns been getting smashed. Y'all do know that Guadalupe River was the river that the slaves took to get to Mexico. And a lot of them probably drowned in that water, because that place used to be part of Mexico. And a lot of slaves was trying to get away from the slave trade, and they was trying to get to Mexico in that water. A lot of slaves drowned in the Guadalupe River that flooded this mystic school or whatever. I forget the name of the school. But yeah, so a lot of people got drowned in this area. And this school, like I said at the beginning, was an exclusive. I did kind of like a Google search on the water, on the Guadalupe River. Do research. Guadalupe River and that school that those little kids was at, that was an exclusive Christian school. So was no Black people there. That was a sundown town. The name of that town, that's a sundown town. Ain't no Blacks or nowhere around. That area got smashed. It's like, you should be glad you living amongst your own people, because if you are the one Lone Ranger living around them, they can smash right now. And in the sundown towns, they ain't gonna let you live there anyway. They're gonna hang you from a tree. So since they want to hang people from trees, look at the water. Look what's going on in these sundown towns. They done hung a lot of Black people. They done drowned a lot of Black people. And they still doing it to this day. They still finding people hanging. They just found a man in New York hanging. They still finding people hanging. So come on now. You getting smashed in your sundown towns because you still killing black people. You still killing the children of Israel. So it's going on now. It's judgment's going on right now. So yeah, do research on Guadalupe River and that little kid, the little camp in that area is exclusive. Go way back to see. I went way back to see who bought the place. Some Christians folk, you know, they was KKK. You know the Christians were, you know the KKK was Christian. Exclusive. They say it was exclusive. So you know, nobody black was there. All those kids that passed away was all non-melanated. It was not only no blacks, it was no minorities. That's what's a sundown area that got flooded like that. Only with your eyes so you behold and see the reward of the wicked. Only with your eyes. But you got to follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High so you can be protected. But only with your eyes, family, are you going to see, you're going to behold and see the reward of the wicked of what they did to us, because we got a wound that's hard to heal. This slavery thing is a deep wound that's very difficult to heal. And it still burns me up right now. It's, you know, I have such a anger about it, like it was me, like I actually went through it, but it's in my bloodline, it's in my DNA. What you did to our people, I will never forget it. That's a deep wound, a wound that those type of wounds that it's like you'll never be healed from it. That's the type of wound that you will never be healed. You might be healed from a lot of things that happened to you, right? The Most High could probably heal you from a lot of things that happened to you. But that wound right there, that slavery wound, I don't know if we ever going to be healed from that wound. Only thing, we could probably have peace, and the Most High could ease it off of us when we in our land and when we are at peace. But that's a deep wound. That is a deep wound, family, that our nation experienced. A deep wound. So thank you so much for taking the time to view this live stream. I'm going to end it now because I can go on and on. But email me if you are interested in Tanzania and if you want to visit. diasporaconnect0@gmail.com. diasporaconnect0@gmail.com. I do charge for consultation $60 USD for 60 minutes or 1 hour, but I do give out general information. So if you just have questions, I can answer general questions. I can kind of steer you in the right direction of based on like what I've been doing and if you know what you want to do and your ideas and whatever. You can email me if you want to ask questions. And so thank you so much for taking the time, and I will do another live or video in the next couple of days. So I'm going to say have a good day, morning, well, I can say morning, have a good afternoon or good evening. It's nighttime here, family. So I'm going to see you guys in the next one. So I'm going to say, salama, shalom, family. See you guys in the next live stream or video. Priority and bye.